Gary, before we look ahead to this weekend's game at Burton, it is of course coming towards the end of the transfer deadline window. What can you tell us about what you expect to happen in the next day and a half or so?
I expect it will be busy. I expect there'll be loads of phone calls, conversations. We are very clear on what we need to do and what we want to try and do. So Marcus is working extremely hard behind the scenes with clubs, with agents. I'm speaking to the players and making sure they're the right fit for the football club. So I'm hopeful that when the window shuts, then we're in a better position as a squad.
Are there new targets that you've perhaps identified in recent days, as well as targets that you've been looking at for a long time?
I think our targets have always been the same in terms of what position we're looking for and what profile of player we're looking for that position. I think as the window nears, comes to an end, I think different players become available that weren't available, so your targets can change slightly. I think the challenge is kind of juggling all that kind of information and different things coming up. You have to be very adaptable. You have to be ready to kind of move on different things. So, like I said, we know exactly what we want, but what that looks like at the moment is not clear because different things having to fall into place.
And of course, you've got to juggle all that as well as trying to prepare, taking the team to Burton, travelling on deadline day, players that you want all over the country. It must be a difficult equation.
Great idea, isn't it? Great idea to run the window into the season, but I've spoke to a few managers the last few days and everyone's in the same boat. I think it's crazy that the window doesn't shut before the start of the season. I think it should, be something that when the season starts, you have your squad and you go with it until the January window opens. But for whatever reason, the window stays open into kind of 5-6 games into the season. And like you say, when you're travelling and preparing for a game, you're also having to deal with that as well. So it's really difficult, but it's something we have to contend with, and we have to make sure that at the end of the window we're in a stronger position as a squad.
I imagine you'd like to think that the style of football that you've implemented and the way we've started the season will be a big selling point to attracting new players, as well as the way that this team has shown a great togetherness, particularly at the end of home games when we win.
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant club for any player, but definitely for younger players, for players who want to come and enjoy their football and play in a really positive environment at SJP, fantastic training facilities to work on your game and develop every aspect of your game to improve. Then I think we're an amazing football club for players to be attracted to. I think, like you said, the connection this team has with the supporters at SGP is special, and it's only growing and gaining momentum by every game, and any footballer should want to be a part of that.
There's some fantastic team spirit at the moment. We saw that just a moment ago with this hula hoop exercise. You can explain that a little bit to us. I don't know what I walked into in the gym earlier.
Every day it's something I thought of a lot when I've been at other clubs, and I started to bring it in a little bit as assistant manager at Hibs, and here I've fully implemented it, where we warm players up every day physically, but I always felt like mentally, we call it cognitive. We don't warm the players up cognitively and get them ready to train. That might be switching them on and giving them a task where they need to think. It might be where we provide a bit of fun. It might be we want to sharpen them up. It might be races where we want to actually physically, be ready in terms of that speed. So we do a whole host of different things before training every day to cognitively get players ready to train. And today we felt like after a midweek game, a day off, we needed some energy and we needed to get the players going. They have to work in a team and come up with that routine and make sure they get it right. And I think it's important that we, whilst we're fully professional and focused, we are also having fun, and we're together and enjoying being together. And that was one of those moments. I can't believe the young lads didn't let us win. Normally you should pick the coaches, young lads, so you'll learn from that. But a bit of fun, and the young team came out on top.
Just looking back on Tuesday night, you mentioned their fantastic win into the next round, but how did the team come through that? Is Jack Aitchison okay after that collision?
No, Jack won't miss the game on Saturday with a concussion. it was a heavy fall into the kind of advertising boards. At the time, I thought it was a kind of a push in, but when I've watched it again, there was no malice in it from the opposition player. It was one of those things, an accident that can happen, and fortunately he's okay. It could have been a lot worse, but he'll miss the game on Saturday.
With James Scott's injury, there's another attacking option that is ruled out. Are you? No doubt that's where you'd be looking at in the transfer window, but you're looking at other options as well with your current available players in who to play in those four positions.
Yeah, we're obviously looking to strengthen the squad, so that is an area we're looking at. But I think we're a team at the moment that's very adaptable. We can play different ways. The way we set the team up can cause teams a lot of problems by how we position the players. So it's something I think since I've been in, we've done it. A little bit last year. We've done it even more this year, and I think the group of players that we're bringing together are very flexible in how we can set up, and players can play a number of different positions. So we will, analyse Burton, be clear on how they're going to try and hurt us, be clear on how we can cause them problems, and try and pick a team that can go and do that.
Just the last one before we talk about Burton is we've not really had a chance to talk about Ilmari Niskanen since he signed. You must be thrilled with how well he's settled in, thrown himself into everything, both on and off the pitch. Yeah,
I keep saying I think we've signed really good characters this window, and Ilmari is right up there with the best of them. A fantastic human being first and foremost, but also a very, very good football player who showed his quality against Reading. We felt like we needed to give him some more minutes again, but be very cautious with him on Tuesday, and he came through that in good form. So hopefully, he's ready to go again, because he's missed a lot of pre-season. He's not played a lot of minutes, but the energy and the enthusiasm that he's brought to the group, as well as his ability as a footballer, has been first class, and we're delighted he's here and looking forward to kind of getting his minutes into him and getting him up to full speed. Congratulations,
of course, to him and Vil for making the Finland squad. If he thought that Dundee to Exeter was a long way, he's got to go to Kazakhstan.
Yeah, he's racked up the miles recently. He's definitely got the miles up, and I think it's fantastic. Any player that gets that feeling of playing for their country, it's a special feeling, and it's great that they've both been recognised for their performances.
On to Burton then, a team that we struggled against last season, and now a team full of former Exeter City players. 4 have joined in the summer, so 4 faces that we know plenty about.
Yeah, it is, and I think they'll be motivated. Whenever you play against your former club, you're always highly motivated to do well. So we know it will be a difficult game. We lost there last season. I felt like we played well in the game, but we didn't manage to score, and we conceded a poor goal late in the game. So we know the challenge that faces us. We're in good spirits, we're in good form, but we have to go there with the understanding of how difficult the game's going to be, and be at our very best if we want to win.
They've had a difficult start to the season, but from what you've seen of Burton so far, do you feel they're perhaps in a bit of a false position?
Yeah, I think they're a difficult team to play against. I watched the Bolton game in particular. Of the games I've watched, was one I felt like they could have won the game, and we all know how good a team Bolton are. So it was, if anyone thinks it's going to be an easy game because of the start that they've had, then we're under no illusions that it's how difficult it's going to be. And like I said, we have to be at our very best. We have to compete, and we have to try and impose our style of play on the game to try and win.